I'm Julianna LeMieux, Deputy Editor-in-Chief at Gen, and I'm coming to you today with John Sterling, the Editor-in-Chief at Gen from Boston, and the Bioprocessing International Meeting 2025. It's the first full day. We've had a great one. So, John, we're going to tell everyone a little bit about what we're hearing about. How was your day today?
Well, thank you for the great introduction. It's been busy all morning and most of the afternoon. I've been coming to a lot of these, and each year there are more things to talk about, more people coming, and a whole bunch of different technologies. Today, for example, robotics is a huge trend in biotech. And the first session I went to was robotics for early stage biopharma development. Not late stage, early in the game, right after drug discovery, robots are going right in. And another session I went to was cell culture media for intensified bioprocessing to improve productivity. Has to do with cell culture and cells. And Julianna, I think you went to a session on that?
Yeah, so I spent several hours in one session all on cell line development. I love going to the cell line development ones, but to your point about how there's more and more every year, I mean, it's like you have to choose one track, but you want to do that track, but then you're missing, say, downstream processing or something. So I had a hard time choosing, but anyway, I chose cell line development. And it was an entire session on CHO cells, 3 different talks, all on CHO cells. So the first one was by Banu Chandra Mulukutla from Pfizer. And he talked about this really interesting problem that they're working with in the CHO cells about this lactate shift, where the CHO cells produce these byproducts. And they actually, several of the talks used genomics, whether it was RNA-seq or other omics technologies, which is something near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
And they identified this key player, this gene TXNIP, and then they learned how they could control it with amino acid levels, but you can't do that when you're growing, for bioprocessing. So then they used genetic engineering. So it's really amazing talk about how Pfizer's working on, development of CHO cells so that it can be used. And then I heard from an academic from University of Delaware. The other thing actually about the CHO cells, going back to Pfizer for a second, is that they use these cells where they weren't using cysteine or tyrosine, and they called them sister CHO, but like CYSTYR. So I thought that was science humor. It was good. And then we heard from an academic from University of Delaware, Mark Blenner, who did more kind of the gene expression of CHO cells. And then lastly, heard from Mike Johns from Millipore Sigma. And actually, I didn't know it going into it, but they're launching a new product called Chosen Elite Cell Line. So he showed a lot of data on this new cell line, which is coming out really today. This was the first mention of it. So, go check out their website if you're interested in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Millipore Sigma. Yeah.
As you can see, Julianna has become our cell line development specialist.
CHO cells.
CHO cells are like the workhorse of mammalian biotech production.
It's so interesting how many different facets there are.
There's a number of different sessions on this.
There's other sessions.
Yeah. Well, I didn't focus on one. I just sort of flitted through and listened to 6 or 7 different ones.
That's good.
I went into a session where they were talking about using size exclusion chromatography and mass spec for real-time antibody drug conjugation monitoring. ADCs, they're called, one of the newest biotech drugs that hold a lot of promise. And there's an awful lot of work being done on those because it's still early, and there are a number of sessions here to talk about that. There was also an entire session on industrializing AI for GMP production. Now, GMP production is what you need to use to get your product approved by the FDA. AI is still very early in the game in its use in biotech. It's used widely from drug discovery all the way through bioprocessing, but it needs to be really refined and fine-tuned so that it can meet the levels that the FDA requires for good manufacturing production. I was also impressed by the large Asian biotech contingent that's at this meeting. It seems like there were more companies here than last year, and a number of them are looking to set up shop here in the United States, which is interesting because right now, Asia, especially China, is on fire in terms of biotech development and product production. Julianna?
Well, I actually started my morning with a talk. It was in the keynote plenary session that I think is absolutely worth mentioning for a moment. It was this story, it was given by Tracy Ryan, who's the co-founder and chief communications officer at NCore Biotherapeutics. And sorry, NK, like NK cells, because they harness NK immune cells, natural killer immune cells, as a treatment for cancer. But her story is a great one where, first of all, I liked it because it was focused on patients. So the company says patients first. And in fact, she started the company with others because her daughter at 8 months old was diagnosed with cancer and really, had very, very limited options. And so they started the company. And the idea, moving away from genetic therapies like N of 1, they are developing allogeneic therapies. 2 people have been dosed in solid and blood tumors. And so her daughter's name is Sophie Ryan, and there's a website, savingsophie.org, that tells the story and also is raising money because, these therapies are so expensive. So what a, important and impactful and story that was just full of hope. And she was just a terrific speaker and I think a great way to kick off the meeting, Yeah. Because we get so into the technology here, but it's like so important to remember that there's the whole reason why anyone's doing this is for the patients. And I think that's what that first talk really set the tone.
Actually talking to companies here and reading the intros to what they're talking about, their descriptions, there's this ongoing theme of improving technology for productivity and getting products to market. But as Julianna says, and you really get a sense of this, that a lot of what they're doing, and they say this in their releases and face-to-face, that they not so much want to get to products just for product's sake, but it's to help patients get healthy and live better lives. It's almost a talking point become for the industry, which I think is really smart because a lot of these things are really technical and they range from everything from drug discovery through very complicated bioproduction methods to analytical methodologies, and you lose sometimes what this is all about. And as Julianna heard in the first talk, and as I heard from a number of people today, it's all about getting the product to patients as soon as possible.
And that was just day one. And we're here for an entire full day tomorrow, John.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you know where you're headed tomorrow, but I think we're just going to be doing a lot more of this same.
Yep.
And now tonight, we should say, is the big networking night in the expo hall. So, really looking forward. The expo hall just opened this afternoon. So really, I know we're both looking forward to going down there, talking to the companies, learning about some of the new technologies and tools that are being presented at the meeting. And then tomorrow, full day again. And then tomorrow night, we should mention, Jen is having, I don't know if you got one of these very beautiful
Yes, I did.
invites, but a
some out.
client appreciation party
Yep.
at Del Frisco's. So looking forward to that. That's something we haven't done in a long time.
Yep.
So that's going to be great.
And when you meet people one-on-one, their exuberance, their dedication,
passion,
the passion that they express when you talk to them, it's almost overwhelming once you get them going on something. And that's very reassuring to me that, again, it's a business, but these people are out to do good. And there isn't anything wrong with that. We want to see more of that. And we'll see that tomorrow. So that's all I have to say.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll bring you more from BPI, in our newsletter, on our website, and everywhere else.
Yep.
Thanks again.